That's Phil Wallace, the Ohio Valley Printing Company. Uh, a bit about the business. I'm the third owner of the business. It started in 1922 in downtown Martins Ferry, and some years after that, the business moved here on Spring Haven Drive, and so we've been here ever since. Our business started out as letterpress, then into offset printing, and now we're doing with digital now, and we're doing all three processes here at Ohio Valley Printing.
And when did it start?
The business itself started in 1922. I purchased it April 1st, 1975. I worked for Wheeling News Register at their commercial shop when I got out of high school. I worked there for 9 years, and they decided to close the print shop. So I went to Huntington, West Virginia. I was there for a year, and they decided to close their print shop. So I moved to Chillicothe, Ohio, a town I really love. I love Chillicothe. And after 9 years at Chillicothe, they decided to close their print shop. And my dad called me and said, I think there's a print shop for sale in Martins Ferry. I said, well, I'll come back and look at it. I said, I've never owned anything like that before, so I'll come back. So I came back and looked at it, and it was strictly all letterpress at that time. And letterpress, I don't know whether you're familiar with letterpress or not, but it's hot type and hand type and the slow process of printing. But that's what I grew up on in printing. So we bought the business, and so we've been here ever since. No, my dad was actually worked for Wheeling Steel years ago. My mother was a school teacher. So.
Yeah, but they were behind the idea of you owning a small business.
Well, my dad was anxious about it. Yeah, I truthfully was not anxious about it until I got into the ownership of it and knowing how to operate a business. And then it's history. I enjoy everything I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, absolutely. You learn every day is a learning point on the job. If it's not, the different customers that come in, or the people that you have to take care of. Yeah, it's a learning curve, and it's usually a big curve sometimes.
Could be.
It's a small business. My wife and I run the business, just a small 2-person business.
Okay. So you've never had employees?
No. That's the matter of fact, the business has always been that way. On all 3 owners, been a small business.
That's neat that you've been able to do that and keep up with the changes and stuff. Because I'm trying to think, not many businesses would have changed as much as the printing business.
It is, and the thing with printing now, since it's gone mostly digital, a lot of businesses have their own copiers and printers in their businesses, and it has taken a toll on printing. But you have to go look for jobs to keep the business going, and so it's a task once in a while.
So you mentioned your wife. She was behind that. She was okay with the supportive of the idea.
Oh yeah, matter of fact, we had 3 young kids at the time. So yeah, we're both actually from this area, so it worked out well for both of us. Here's the thing about the failing part. I never gave that a thought. When I took over the business, the former owner worked with me. As a matter of fact, he stayed with me for another 6 months after I bought the business, and worked for me for a little while. But the failing was never an issue because the business was doing well, and it's been going ever since. How do I define success? That's the best question right there. you find success in the customers that you have. You treat a customer well, and you'll be successful. And our motto here is, our customers are our shareholders, and they are the ones we try to make happy. So that I try to keep that in mind all the time, and it's worked out well. Failure to me would be devastating. Like I said, I've never thought of it and don't want to think of it. I mean, there are times in business, well, just for instance, right now, we're in a slow period in printing in this area. So we've got to do what we got to do to go look for new business and make sure the doors stay open. Well, the thing of it is with being in business and being involved with other organizations. I was a former mayor of Martins Ferry, being with the CIC, being in politics. Yeah, it all groups together and makes it a good fit. Good customer service is when you are able to deliver the product on time without any hesitation. If there's a time where something is going to be late, if a product that I order is back ordered or something, you have to satisfy the customer and make sure that they understand when the product is going to be coming, and it has worked out well. The hardest thing to learn in business is doing the bookkeeping. That was the hardest part. I had never done it before. I was in the print shop all the time, running the presses, and when I had to sit down and start doing the book work, that was the hardest part. I'm still not happy about it, but I have to do it every day. Well, let's go back a few years ago. I worked in the shop probably sometimes 8 to 10 hours a day for 2 or 3 years, and when I bought the business, then I decided, you know what? Other people don't work those hours, so I cut back to 8 hours a day. And of course, there are times when you get busy and you have to do overtime and extra time. So, but it works out well. I think of Appalachia as someone who has cars in her backyard on cinder blocks with no wheels, and I never think of this being Appalachia. I know it's considered that, but I do not think of that in that perspective.
Mm-hmm. It has negative connotation.
Absolutely.
Where do you think that comes from?
I don't know. I mean, I truthfully never heard of it. When I moved back here from Chillicothe, I never heard that at all until I get involved in politics. Mm-hmm. And politics call this area Appalachia. Mm-hmm. And of course, I got into a confrontation with a politician one time for calling it Appalachia, but no, I do not consider Appalachia. Mm-hmm. This is my hometown now, and we live here and have fun and do what we have to do, but it's not Appalachia as far as I'm concerned. I think the main thing on that is small businesses run the country. That's the foregone conclusion that we run the country. And if banks know that, I think politicians know that, and so it is what it is. We run the country.
You say you think they know that? Do you feel like they act like they know it though, knowing it mentally and then actually behaving on that?
Banks, yes. Okay. Maybe other institutions and areas do not, but banks do it, I feel, because they also they also want to loan you the money when you need it, and then they're happy to do what they do with you. I was on a board down at the Moundsville Penitentiary for 9 years in their printing area, and that's questions came up down there also. And I told those inmates down there, when you get out, look at your future, see what you want to do. If you want to get into printing, that would be the area to start. Do your research before you do anything, and then if you want to start a business, find the right place and find the right clientele.
Research.
Yeah, research is the big key. Mostly all printing businesses in this area of the Ohio Valley are all about the same. There are companies that I deal with, one in Canonsburg, Pennsylvania, that do what they call wide format printing. I don't get into that, but that is one of the key things that you have to look at when doing printing. But all printing in this area are about the same type of printing. Yeah. Service. That's another key word. Service. You've got to help the customer, satisfy them, and give them the right product that they want.
Have you ever had to tell a customer maybe they have a vision or something that they want, but then you've had to tell them it might not work as well that way, or maybe it would work better if you did it this way?
I've had lots of customers that way, that they think they've got the right idea, and until you sit down with them and have them lay out what they want, and then my side up to see how it would best work. And you come to a compromise a lot of times on things, but sometimes I hate to say this, sometimes the customer isn't right on what they want to do, and we have to make that an equal term there for both of us.
Mm-hmm. So it has to be like an educational process.
It is educational for both sides. Absolutely.
Yeah. We've been hearing that a lot.
There's a lot of things that when failing, especially with some new businesses that start, they don't follow up on what they're supposed to do to get new customers, or work with new customers, or to try to get loans to keep their business going, or pay the bills that they're supposed to pay. And so that is a lot of the key issues right there with a bank or a business failing. You have to learn. You have to learn every day. Every day is a different experience. I mean, a customer comes in here and has never been here before. I don't know them. They don't know me. But we sit down and we talk before we do anything else.
Build that relationship.
We have to. You have to build a relationship. The thing I would say about, and I said it before just a few minutes ago, is do your research. Look at the area you're in, the type of business you want to do. See what other businesses are in the area. Are they successful, or have businesses gone under because of different situations? But make sure you do the research, do everything you can, and satisfy your customers.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.